So, lads, Carolyn Peck responded. If you guys don't know what Carolyn Peck has done and said. So, Carolyn Peck, if you guys don't know, she said the Indiana Fever were better without Caitlin Clark. Or they're more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. That is a quote from Carolyn Peck. That is not from me. That is no, I'm not paraphrasing anything. It is a quote. The Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. That is a Carolyn Peck quote. So, what do you guys take from that quote? Do you guys take that as her praising the Fever, or do you guys think that as more so her trying to be negative about Caitlin Clark? I think it's more the latter than the former, because let's be real. There's a big difference between saying the Indiana Fever are the Indiana Fever are a dangerous team. They have so many weapons, and with or without Caitlin Clark, they can beat anyone on any given day. That is very different than saying the Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. One is praising the teammates. One is praising their ability to play without Caitlin Clark. The other is using the players that are there using them as a prop against Caitlin Clark. And it's no different, by the way, than the people being like, the Indiana Fever need Caitlin Clark to win games. The Indiana Fever suck. They're nothing without Caitlin. And the Caitlin Clark fans would rather see the Indiana Fever lose without Caitlin. Because it proves that Caitlin is good. And then there's people that are the opposite, that they would like to see they want to see the Indiana Fever will lose with Caitlin and win without her so that they can have their hate on Caitlin. That's what that take sounded like. And if you guys agree, subscribe. We are trying to hit 52.7k by the end of the day. But that's just my opinion on it all. And Carolyn Peck responds with, I did not say Caitlin Clark is not valuable. You didn't say it, you implied it. You didn't say it, you implied it. We're not going Cheryl Swoopsonomics here. We're not going Elle Duncan. When Elle Duncan last year implied that Katie Lou Samuelson's 3-and-D, I'm not joking, she said defense for Katie Lou Samuelson and 3-point shooting and she forgot how to shoot. She implied that Katie Lou Samuelson and Caitlin Clark were of equal importance to the Fever's success. She implied. She didn't say it, she implied it. And Elle Duncan slightly misspoke and said Cheryl Swoops said Katie Lou was more important. Cheryl Swoops did not say that. She definitely misquoted Cheryl Swoops, but she implied they were of equal importance, which is still almost as dumb a take. Almost as dumb a take. And then she gave a full apology and has been on the defensive for Cheryl Swoops the whole time and has been fully anti-Caitlin Clark since then. Since that day, she's been anti-Caitlin Clark. Carolyn Peck heavily implied that she is not valued, the team is better without her, hence not valuable. She's a great player, and for those who only see Caitlin, I was complimenting the rest of the team. You were, but you also had to make sure you threw in a jab at Caitlin while doing that. Fever of several weapons, I agree. Yes, they lost last night. They have lost games with her. Do you want to know what date? I just need to check this on my phone. I think it was the 18th of July. The last time. Where is it? So it was. When was it? I can't find the date. It just says versus Fever. Or versus Wings. Like, it actually. There's nowhere on the WNBA website that it gives the date. 17th of July. It's the 6th of July, 2025. The last time the Indiana Fever lost to a team that was outside the playoffs with Caitlin Clark was the 17th of July, 2024. It is the 6th of July, 2025. The Indiana Fever have lost to a non-playoff team twice in the last 10 days. They've lost twice in the last 10 days. Caitlin Clark has played 49 games with the Indiana Fever, and including a 1-8 start. Yes, they were 1-8 last year. 1-8. The Indiana Fever have lost the exact same amount of games out of 49 with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has played 49 games. They've lost the exact same amount of games against the bottom three teams in the WNBA with Caitlin Clark than without Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has missed 9 games. So they've lost 3 games in 49. They've lost 3 in 9. And lads, the Indiana Fever, I'm not joking. They are, am I right in saying this? They are, they're 3-3. So I just need to check the L Fever record. So the Fever have lost to the Sun, the Sparks twice, and the Mystics. So they have lost to they've lost to 4 non-playoff teams this year. They have 4 losses to non-playoff teams this year. 4 to non-playoff teams. The Indiana Fever, in the last 12 months, have lost to 1, 2. I don't know if the game against, it might have been after the 7th of July, the game against the Mystics, when Caitlin had like 29 or 14. But I think they might have lost, they've lost either 1 or 2. And I'm not counting the last game of the season where it was bench v bench. The Indiana Fever have lost 4 to non-playoff teams. The Indiana Fever lost to the Connecticut Sun. Lads, the Connecticut Sun, like, I'm not joking when I say this. The Sun and the Sparks have won 6 games. They're the bottom 2 teams. Maybe the Sky are now. I think the Sparks and the Sun are 2 bottom teams. They have won 8 games combined this year. 3 of them have been against the Fever. 3! The Sparks are 2-7 in the clutch. 2 have been against the Fever. The Fever are a team that are good enough to hang on without Caitlin Clark. They are good enough to beat anyone on any given day without Caitlin Clark in a one-off game. That is huge. That is huge. But let's be real. The Lynx can go undefeated without Fee. The Liberty, last year, the Liberty, I don't think lost a game when Stewie was injured. Stewie missed like 7 games last year. I don't think they lost a game when she was injured. They're winning without Sabrina. The Liberty nearly won a game without Jonquel Phoebish and Sabrina. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? The response here, incredibly full of shit. You said they're more dangerous without one of the top 5 players in the league. Your unserious analysis, but amazing as a hater. Don't let them bully you. Like they're playing as a team. You literally said the team is more dangerous without her. I think Indiana Fever is even more dangerous when Caitlin doesn't play. That is not praising the players. That is basically saying Caitlin is not a valuable player at all. It has never happened in basketball where like a player that is actually good, that is actually a driving force superstar, like a Ja. Like, the only times that I can remember it happening is if they get replaced by another different type of superstar. And Ari McDonald's not that. Like, you can make the argument that if Caitlin gets replaced by a similar level player, but is it different? Like, for example, Arike getting replaced by Paige. Paige is better than Arike, but is a much better fit. If you wanted to say, replace Paige with Caitlin, the way they're playing right, or Caitlin with Paige, the way they're playing right now, they might be better. Cool, yeah. Paige is a seamless fit. Paige is a seamless fit, and Caitlin Clark kind of fits out. But you also make the argument that if you swapped, I think there's an argument to be made that if you swapped Paige with Caitlin, the Fever are better. But there's also an argument to be made. There's not even an argument to be made if you swapped Caitlin with Paige, or Paige with Caitlin, and put Caitlin on put Caitlin on the wings, even with Arike. The wings are a top 6 team. Like, there's no question about that. Maybe not with Alyssa, but like, I think the wings are a top 6 team if you put Caitlin on that team. Like, it is what it is. But there's an argument to be made there. I'm not saying for a fact. I'm saying there's an argument to be made there. But like, no team has ever gotten better by the subtraction of a top 5 player. It was like, the Memphis Grizzlies are better without Ja Morant. And then when it comes to it, every time they play a big game without Ja, they lose. The Mavs are better without Luka Doncic. And then whenever Luka's injured for a big game, they lose. Like, it's always happened. And it's always these ball-dominant players. It happened with LeBron James. The Lakers are better at LeBron. There was a time it was like, the Cavs are better without LeBron. It's never been the case. Because it's how many players in sports is it, look at how well the ball moves when he doesn't play. And I'm like, well, yeah. They win a couple of games because teams scout for that one player. It's a new scouting report. Like, teams don't know the scout report. You move the ball, you hit shots sometimes. Sometimes you play out of your mind because the player's not there. But realistically, they're not better without Caitlin Clark. They are a team that are going to be lucky to cling on to the 8th, 9th seed. They're going to be lucky to be in the playoff hunt without Caitlin Clark. And then when Caitlin comes back, they're going to be in the top 6 or 7 seats, which is fine. Like, it's fine with that coming into the season. That's absolutely fine. Like, that's the reality situation. There are 2 teams way better than all the others. MMS was probably going to go to one of those 2 teams or the Mercury. There's 2.5 teams better than all the others. And the Fever can get into that 3rd seed. They can. But, like, to just lie and say that you did not say Caitlin Clark is invaluable. You didn't say it. You implied it. And we're not going Cheryl Swoops on this. We're not going Cheryl Swoops. More dangerous without her. Certainly not giving flowers. There was no need to say that. Doesn't matter anyway. The coach already said she's a big part of what the Fever do. Well, yeah, of course the coach wouldn't say that. Would say that. But at the end of the day, like, we got to be honest here. We're not pulling a Cheryl Swoops on this. We cannot be doing Cheryl Swoops. Slight misquotes does not mean that the overall point does not stand. She implied Caitlin Clark is not valuable. She implied Caitlin Clark. And I tweeted out this in my response. You said they were more dangerous without Caitlin Clark, which implies that she's a negative to the team. 2, you can complement the team without bringing up Caitlin. 3, the Fever have lost more games against non-playoff teams in the last 10 days than the last year with Caitlin. Which is all 3 are facts. All 3 of those are facts.